Hey there, aspiring civil servants. You know, 1 minute you're deep in laxmacanth.
Hmm.
The next you're hit with a headline about pink rain
Oh, yeah.
falling from the sky during a wildfire. And you're thinking, wait, is this important for the UPSC? Well, you're right to be curious.
Yeah.
The use of fire retardants, especially this visually striking pink one,
Right.
is definitely something that's popping up more and more in discussions about environmental policy and disaster management.
What's fascinating here is the layers to this story. It's not just about the immediate visual of those pink clouds.
Right.
It's about understanding how this tactic fits into the bigger picture of wildfire management, the environment, and even public health.
Yeah.
All things you'll need to grasp for both the mains and prelims.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. First things first, for anyone who's picturing Pepto-Bismol raining down on a forest fire, what exactly is this fire retardant?
It's simpler than you might think. The most common brand in the US, Phosgene, is essentially a mix of water fertilizer, specifically ammonium phosphate, and a whole lot of red dye to give it that signature pink hue.
Fertilizer. Now, that's not what I was expecting.
Right. But there's a very specific reason for it. Ammonium phosphate isn't there to make the forest grow back faster.
Right.
It actually triggers a chemical reaction when it comes in contact with burning plant material. Think back to your chemistry classes.
Okay.
The reaction releases water and carbon dioxide, which actually starves the fire of oxygen and heat, effectively slowing it down.
So it's not just about dousing the flames, it's like cutting off the fire's food supply at the source.
Exactly. It also creates a kind of fireproof barrier on the vegetation it coats, making it harder for the flames to spread. This is especially crucial when you're trying to protect structures or create fire breaks to control the direction of a wildfire.
Now let's talk about that vibrant pink color. Is that just for dramatic effect? I mean, it does make for some pretty stunning photos.
There's actually a practical reason for the pink. It's about visibility. When firefighters are dropping this stuff from planes or helicopters, they need to be able to see where it's landing to create those effective fire lines.
Right.
Plus, being able to assess the retardant spread helps with coordinating ground efforts.
Okay, so it's not just a fashion statement.
Hmm.
But if it's so effective, why are we hearing so much controversy around its use?
Well, that's where things get a bit more complicated and tie directly into what you might encounter in your UPSC studies. Remember, environmental science and current affairs are intertwined. A 2024 study from USC raised some serious red flags, literally and figuratively. They found that this pink retardant contains some unwelcome ingredients, heavy metals like chromium and cadmium.
Heavy metals. Those don't sound good.
They're definitely not something you want hanging around in the environment. These metals can leach into the soil and water, potentially harming ecosystems and wildlife.
Right.
We're talking about impacts on water quality, fish populations, even the delicate balance of entire ecosystems.
And this is where it gets relevant for us UPSC aspirants, right? Because issues like water pollution and ecosystem disruption are hot topics in the exam.
Absolutely. Understanding the interconnectedness of environmental issues is crucial for tackling questions related to sustainable development and environmental policy and even disaster management.
Okay, so we've got potential ecological damage. What about the impact on human health? I'm guessing those heavy metals aren't exactly good for us either.
You're right to be concerned. Exposure to these heavy metals has been linked to various health issues, including cancer, kidney disease, and liver problems.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just an environmental problem, it's a public health concern as well.
And again, this ties back to the UPSC syllabus, where you often have to analyze the interplay of environmental issues and public health challenges.
Yeah.
It's not just about knowing the science, it's about understanding the broader societal impact.
Precisely. Now here's another layer to consider. While fire retardant can be effective in certain situations,
Right.
it's not a foolproof solution. Studies, some even conducted by the Forest Service itself,
Oh, wow.
have shown that its effectiveness depends heavily on specific conditions like wind speed, terrain, and the type of vegetation burning.
So it's not as simple as just dousing everything in pink and calling it a day.
Not at all.
Hmm.
And here's where it gets even more complex. The very conditions that make retardant less effective are becoming more common due to climate change.
Oh!
We're seeing more intense wildfires fueled by drier conditions and hotter temperatures.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Climate change is increasing the risk of wildfires, which might lead to more reliance on a retardant that may not always work as intended
Right.
and has these potential environmental and health risks.
It's a classic example of the interconnected challenges we face in the 21st century. And it's precisely the kind of scenario a UPSC aspirant needs to be able to analyze.
Yeah.
Think about it. You might get a mains question asking you to evaluate the effectiveness of different wildfire management strategies,
Mm-hmm.
or to discuss the role of climate change in exacerbating environmental disasters.
Right. It's not just about memorizing facts, it's about understanding the complexities and trade-offs involved in policymaking.
Exactly. Now let's put this into perspective with some numbers. Between 2009 and 2021, over 440 million gallons of fire retardant were used in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
That's a staggering amount.
Okay.
And based on the USC study's findings, that
Yeah.
translates to the release of hundreds of tons of heavy metals into the environment.
Those numbers are hard to ignore. It really highlights the scale of the potential impact.
It certainly does, and it raises some important questions about the long-term sustainability of using this fire retardant so extensively.
So where do we go from here? It sounds like we're caught between a rock and a hard place. We need to fight wildfires, but the current method has some serious drawbacks. What are the alternatives? What Right. can we do to address this challenge effectively?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that scientists, policymakers, and even entrepreneurs are grappling with.
Right.
There's no easy answer, but there are a number of avenues being explored.
Well, let's dive into those. What are some of the potential solutions or alternative approaches being considered?
One area of focus is on improving the fire retardant itself.
Okay.
Researchers are looking for ways to create more environmentally friendly formulations, perhaps, by using biodegradable materials or finding alternatives to those heavy metals.
That would be a game changer, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. But it's not just about the chemistry of the retardant.
Right.
There's also a lot of research going into improving the delivery methods. Imagine using drones or other precision tools to target the application of retardant, minimizing waste and reducing the overall amount needed.
That sounds promising. What about shifting our focus from reactive firefighting to more proactive prevention measures?
That's a crucial part of the equation. And it aligns perfectly with the concept of disaster risk reduction that you'll encounter in the UPSC syllabus.
Right.
Things like controlled burns to reduce fuel loads in forests, creating defensible spaces around homes, and even community-based forest management practices can all play a significant role in mitigating wildfire risks.
And let's not forget about addressing the root cause of the problem, climate change.
Yeah.
Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy, and promoting sustainable land management practices are essential for long-term wildfire prevention.
Couldn't agree more. It's a multi-pronged approach that requires collaboration across different sectors and levels of government.
Okay, so we've got the scientific advancements, the policy interventions, and the global efforts to tackle climate change. But what about the individual? What can a regular person do to contribute to this solution?
That's a great question. And it highlights the importance of individual responsibility, something that often comes up in ethics papers for the UPSC.
Right.
We all have a role to play in wildfire prevention. It can be as simple as being careful with fire when camping or clearing brush around your property to create a defensible space.
Right. And staying informed about wildfire risks in your area, being prepared for emergencies, and supporting policies that promote sustainable forest management can also make a difference.
Exactly. Even small actions can have a ripple effect.
This deep dive has really shed light on the complex web of issues surrounding this seemingly simple pink fire retardant.
Yeah.
We've gone from the science of combustion to the impacts on ecosystems and human health, all the way to the global challenge of climate change. It's amazing how much one topic can reveal about the interconnectedness of our world.
It's a microcosm of the kind of challenges civil servants face every day. And it's why a solid understanding of these issues is so crucial for anyone aspiring to serve in the Indian Administrative Service.
The challenges are complex, but the potential for innovation is huge. And as future policymakers, your understanding of these issues will be crucial in shaping effective and sustainable solutions.
It's about connecting the dots, understanding the trade-offs, and ultimately finding a path forward that balances the need to protect lives and property with the imperative to safeguard our environment.
Well said. This deep dive has been an incredible journey, and I hope our listeners have walked away with a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding fire retardants and the broader context of wildfire management. It's a topic that's sure to stay relevant, not just for UPSC aspirants, but for all of us who care about the future of our planet.
Absolutely. And as you continue your UPSC journey, keep in mind that the skills we've talked about today, critical thinking, connecting seemingly disparate issues, understanding the nuances of science and policy, these are the very skills that will equip you to tackle any challenge that comes your way, whether it's on the exam or in your future career as a civil servant.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, before we sign off, a quick reminder to our listeners, hit that subscribe button and share this episode with your friends, study buddies, or anyone who might find it insightful. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of current events and equip you with the knowledge and understanding you need to excel in your UPSC journey.
And remember, the journey of learning never truly ends. Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those minds sharp.
Until next time, keep diving deep.